Hello everyone and welcome to another sketchbook tour. This is my sketchbook tour for July. I am really falling behind as far as these books go because this is my third book and we are now on the 7th month. And so I have really got to start finishing some of these sketchbooks that I have roaming around. I do have a couple of them open, and so I'm hoping to knock out at least 2 this month. Maybe if I get my butt in gear, I'll be able to get 3 done so I can try and catch up, because I am not trying to figure out what I have to do, and I'm sure as my YouTube channel is getting more attention, that you guys will start letting me know what kind of punishment I have to do if I don't actually get this done. So yeah, so the idea is to get 12 sketchbooks by the end of the month, or by the end of the year, and so yeah, I better get my butt in gear. Alright, but anyway, we're gonna go ahead and do this one, and then we'll see where we go from there. Alright, so I have a really big issue about finishing sketchbooks, so I started this, I don't know if you can see, in 2013. Alright, and this was a drawing I did of one of the G.I. Joe characters I created, and I was trying to do some shading and stuff like that. It didn't work. But anyway, so I grabbed this one and was like, I should finish this sketchbook. Luckily, there's only 1 page in it. So, you know, just some life drawings. I've been really trying to get that going. I need to get back to it because towards the end of this sketchbook, or mid of the sketchbook, I stopped doing it, but I need to get back into doing some life drawing. Then I started doing these 10-minute drawings. I know I did that in the last sketchbook tour, but you know, I really started trying to work this out, and I think that I've started to get something towards the end. I know that I have a look and size and stuff that I really want to do, and so, and this is me still trying to figure out the paper. You know, as you can see here, it's not exactly filling in the right way. I mean, it's only 10 minutes. It's not bad for 10 minutes, but still. And this character is Rage. It's a character that a friend of mine, Elvin Hernandez, he always talked about this character because this character's name is Elvin. He's Puerto Rican, you know, and so it reminded him of him, you know, and so representation over everything, you know, and so every time I get to do a project for Marvel, I put this character in there, and even when I'm drawing sketches and stuff, he just keeps popping up. More life drawing, you know, just, you know, as you get started, it's like blah, but that's the one thing about life drawings, you know, like your first couple sketches are going to be kind of bad, but then, you know, as you get further along, you know, so you 1 minute, and then this is like 5 minutes, so then as you get further along, it just gets better. You know, these are great for warming up your hand, and it is a thing, you know, you got to get warmed up in order to actually get your hand warmed up. It's just like any other muscle, you know, you got to draw a little bit and then it'll start flowing better. Daredevil, you know, just really trying to hone in with these 10-minute drawings, mostly for conventions because I'm slow. So, and I think that this is really helping. It helps with my sketch work, you know, knowing that there's a time limit. That's the thing that really is pushing me. It's like you only have so much time, so you got to try and get as much done as possible. Request for Hellboy. More life drawings. And this is from the Croaky Cafe. They do great work. They put stuff together. It's 1 minute, 2 minute, 5 minutes, and it's just a really great resource to get some life drawing done. Cyclops. This is one of my favorite costumes of his. It's also when his character became really cool. I think, you know, he started taking charge. He basically became Magneto, and I don't know, for some reason I think that suited him more so than what he was, which was the crybaby. Just more life drawings, not all being successful, proportions are off and stuff like that. This one came out pretty good, but like I said, it's a real good step to get started. here's, classic recipe. Cyclops. Still trying to work out how I want this to work. Like that shoulder, do I bring it down a little bit? Is that too much? I think it's too much. But it's not, it's not bad still for 10 minutes, Then just life drawing, doing shapes. Oh, I think I was doing something on stream and I was talking about basic shapes. And then life drawing. Colossus. This is one where, his head is shifted over. This one didn't work out as well. But, coming together still, it's 10 minutes. And one thing that I've realized is that it'll bleed. Like if you go over it with marker, right? If you start going over it with marker, you start seeing that it bleeds out the inks, which is just something to keep in mind as I was moving forward. Life drawing. Sketchbook is mostly just life drawing and these 10-minute drawings that I was doing. But they start coming together, and then you can start getting some nice poses. And then the reason why you do all these sketches is so that your visual library gets stronger, and then you can start pulling upon them when you're like, oh, well, I need this pose, or I need this, or I need that, and you can remember, you're like, oh, I drew this before, and it was like this, and it was like that. So doing these is really great. And then, of course, messing up. This one didn't work. I drew him too big, and then he's over here. His nose was sticking out. It's just, this one didn't work. But the benefit of trying to do these 10-minute sketches is that it's 10 minutes. So even if you're like, oh man, I did this and it stunk, it was only 10 minutes or less. Like I quit this one. And then you can just jump to a new one, right? And this one came out a lot better. His shoulder is still too far off, right? That needs to come over, but all in all, it wasn't bad. Although I would have liked to see him bigger, right? And then I love trying to get these foreshortened poses. They're super hard for me. Foreshortening sucks. It's just a matter of doing it a lot and then, realizing, oh, this shape is in front of that shape. And then just trying to get a nice curve, trying to get some motion in it. Because I've noticed a lot of my stuff as doing a lot of graphic illustrative work, I'm not trying to tell a story anymore, so I was trying to do like pinups and stuff, so a lot of my stuff is starting to get stiff. And so I love when they put in poses where they have models who are twisting and turning and twisting the basic shapes, just so that we can really get an understanding of motion, and then the body turning, even if it doesn't work, like the shoulder, that hand and stuff should be back here, but it's good to actually get it in and try it and fail at it and then do it over again. And this one actually had a nice effect. It was not on purpose, right? But you can tell here, right? That's where my marker or my pen was dying. And so it's like, but I couldn't stop. I was like, oh, this pose is working and stuff like that. And it was like, there's only 10 minutes. So it added a nice effect. And then I forgot my paper, and so that it bled through, which always stinks when you're doing stuff in just regular paper stuff, is that you always have to worry about it bleeding through. But because I knew I was going to do these sketches, it didn't matter, right? But I think as I was going forward and I was doing these every day, the poses started, like the understanding of the pose and stuff, and with 5 minutes getting this nice subtle shape was working. Then I was gonna do a G.I. Joe series, and so I did Snake Eyes, and he's all nice and tiny on the page. But I think this one came out, and I might actually revisit the idea of doing G.I. Joe. They got some cool character designs. Then I got a request for the Red Hood, and I went old school. I was like, oh yeah, Pillhead. It's the weirdest design, but it was really fun. And then he had another design where he had a cape. I mean, he had a cape here too, right? But this one came off of his like hood cowl. It was interesting. Like the character was interesting, so I liked drawing him. Faces, women, I need to draw them way more. And what's really bad is I need to draw them as though I'm doing sketches, because, you know, the first couple are like, oh, wow. But then, you know, it started getting better. So just gotta keep at it. Trying to create character designs. You know, I don't know. This is a random guy. I think he looks pretty cool, but he's just, you know, some big dude. So I might actually use this guy. It's actually kind of cool. I like his size. And then just random heads, trying to create new characters. I have this guy. I like the way he looked. It kind of reminds me of Snake Eyes, right, with that visor thing. So I was like, oh, that's really cool. I like that. And like, if Snake Eyes was an actual ninja, so I might revisit this idea. Some really skinny dude, but I like his silhouette, right? He's got this very nice triangle going on. So, and his elongated head. I might actually come back and try and revisit this character specifically. Hopefully not to get in trouble by drawing something that's like Snake Eyes. Then my kids and I did a 10-minute challenge for Batman Beyond. I did the female Batman, and it was not a success at all. Right, that one didn't work. And then so I drew it again, and that one didn't work in my opinion. And so, you know, and the bleed through, I didn't do anything on that page. And then I drew it bigger. I drew the character bigger, and I really think that really did come together. And so that was nice. I got a request from Man-Bat. I like this one. This character came out pretty cool. Right? Should have been moved over. I'm doing these 10-minute things, you know, you put the head right in the middle, and then you're like, oh yeah, the rest of the body. So I need to start moving them over. I did Panthro, and I tried to do all these like really thin lines. And so I have this issue of trying to make everything nice and neat and clean and stuff like that. And as I was drawing, I was like, oh, I was running out of time, and that's when everything really got sloppy, is because I was running out of time, because I was trying to make these nice curves, and that's not the idea of these 10-minute drawings. It's really to get as much information down as possible. And so when I use the big end of the marker, right, you got this nice kind of outline going on, and it started working, although some mistakes were made, but this came out better, right? I would have liked to come in and fix the bleeding part, but as you see, like, I started to go back to these really thick and bold lines, and that was really working, right? And once again, you know, you look at this, right, and there's some issues like here, you know, and there's just some places where it didn't, you know, coloring outside the lines and stuff like that. And for me, it's huge that I don't go back and be like, oh my goodness, I need to fix this, right? Like, this is something that needs to be fixed. So this is something that's really helping me sketch, right? And it's still giving me something that I'm like, oh, I like that. You know, I think Mum Rock could have been a lot bigger. And this one came out nice, but once again, I think utilizing the space better. But it's hard, you know, when you're going, oh well, I need to try and do this, and then you don't really have a lot of time for thinking and layout. You just gotta go, all right, that timer's going. One thing that I do know is I need to come further over, because I keep putting the character head right in the middle, and then it kind of offshoots and it's not working. And then just a really bad Chitara. I should come back and do her some justice, but they were really bad, and stuff was smearing everywhere. It was just, I was using a different marker, and it was, did not work. Jaga, some tension points there, you know, it's just, and like I said, the best part about it is that they're 10 minutes, right? And so sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. This one was alright, and I think this is when it started, where I started changing the size. Oh, and I tried to come back and draw Chitara, and I was just having the hardest time. Like, I just couldn't do a female profile at all. And then, okay, so this is where I started getting bigger, right? And one of the things that I realized is, because I'm using this thicker bullet end marker, I was like, man, I I should be using more of the page. And I think this really helped, right? It's a lot bigger, and I think it just seems to work. Excuse me. And so, with the next ones, like I started with the Ninja Turtles, and look, see, it's just really big. It just commands more attention, takes up more of the paper, and it allows me to use these bolder lines. Right? It's just being able to utilize that space. I really do believe that this is really where it should be for these 10-minute drawings, like really big, bold lines, and it just allows me to get in and make some nice lines, even though, you make some mistakes. When you start running out of time, you're like, oh, we have like 2 minutes left. Now, I was asked for a Splinter. I never drew Splinter before, so I think this one came out alright. I wanted to draw Krang, and instead of actually drawing Krang, I drew Kang's robot. It seemed pretty fun. And then the foot. But once again, see, even though these are bigger, I still put the head like right in the middle. It would just be better if I move that over just a little bit, and that would allow us to not feel as though we're so cramped on this side. But I think that the process of this is actually really working for me, because when I go to conventions and someone wants something, it's expensive because it takes me a lot of time, but if I, it takes a lot of time, and you don't have a lot of time. You have a very finite amount of time when it comes to conventions, and you don't want to spend all day or all night at the hotel trying to finish up commissions. So if you can come in and say, hey, I have this thing that, it'll give you this profile, it'll give you something really cool, and it only takes me, 10 to 15 minutes to knock out, and then everyone gets happy, right? So their cost is a lot lower, and I get to put something out that looks like it's done. And so I think that's where we're going with these, and it's really nice. And that's the end of that. All right, so that's the end of that sketchbook. I hope to be bringing in a lot more like practice and work and stuff, so that you can actually see that I am practicing. Like, I gotta do hands and women. Like, that's one of the things that I really want to focus on for the month of July, is hands and women. Like, that is a big one for me. And then, I'm still trying to do a lot of Ninja Empire stuff and really get some ideas down on paper. So, as we're moving forward towards the fall semester, which might be virtual or might be on ground, I don't know. But as we're moving forward, I want to have a strong plethora of characters and stuff to really move forward. So there should be a lot more sketchbooks for the next one. So here's hoping, and if I do start knocking out like 2 or 3, I will break this month in half, right? So that these don't go on for forever. So thank you guys so very much for joining me on this sketchbook tour. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe if you haven't yet. I've got a lot of content that comes out, trying to make 3 posts every week, from art to art reviews to inspirational stuff that'll help you be a better artist. So please, please, please hit that subscribe button and the bell so you know when I actually produce new content, and we will see you at the next sketchbook tour. All right, see you later. Thank you very much for watching this video. Please like, share, and subscribe. And if you'd like to check out some of my other videos, click on the link on your right. Or if you're interested in a more behind the scenes and personal look at what I do on a day-to-day basis, please click on the link that leads you to the vlog. Thank you very much, and we'll see you at the next video.